Don't get me started.
Don't get me started. Oh, shut your mouth. Live once again, Jeremy. Here we are.
With the Renegade Master.
In these little tiny rooms. This is a representation of my entire mansion that I own. I only ever record in the West Wing.
In one room of the house. Yeah.
In one room. There are many rooms in my house. And
thing is, Alex, if you use all of the other 67 rooms in your mansion, you're going to have to clean them, and nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. I mean, this room isn't actually very clean because the bits you can't see are full with crap. I just know they're not on camera. And so is the rest of my house. It's a bit
like the cupboard. Like, you just chuck it all in the cupboard and then just prise the door shut. Like, it's clean in here.
It's clean. By the way, I love this room. I'm like, oh, this room looks really clean. And I walk into my hall, which is just full of books and stuff and boxes. And I'm like, I got to clean this stuff.
There
the weekend rolls around. I'm like, do I want to clean stuff or do I want to watch TV? I want to watch TV. So, and I'm like, I say to my boss, I'm like, hey, do you know what? This weekend, I'm going to tidy up. I'm going to sort out this. And I say to you, I'm going to sort out the Twitter thing. God, I've got all this stuff, all this to-do list that are written on the wall. And I just played World of Warcraft. So, I mean, I regret nothing, Jeremy.
No, I don't blame you. No.
Nothing.
You do you, man.
I will. I am. That's all you can do in this lockdown. Are you doing you all right at the moment?
I'm doing me interspersed with avoiding killing my 2-year-old, who is very much in the terrible 2 stage. Such a wonderful time of life.
Really? Because, like, my opinion of your daughter is that she's wonderful in sweetness and light, and I never see, like, the bad side. I always just, like, come out in floods of tears at how beautiful she is, and then, like, the door gets closed, and she's like, fuck you all, bitches!
That is pretty much what we're getting right now. She goes from this beautiful, amazing child to, I want this and I want it now. You've told me to do something. I'm just going to laugh in your face. And it's like,
fucking hell. This gets quite sinister.
It's time you pay rent, little.
She doesn't flip you off, though. That would be amazing. If she flipped you off and then stunned you.
Stone Cold, is that you?
Sorry, someone's trying to send me something. Notifications popping up. Anyway, here we are. Covidio Killed the Radio Star, episode 4. We're back again. It's on YouTube.
Episode 5, dude. Episode 5.
Oh, man. What am I thinking about 4 for? I put 4 on the thing. Is it 5? No way. That's insane. Yeah. I'm so glad somebody's paying attention. I was certain it was. But hey, it even says so in the show notes. I don't even pay attention anymore. I'm pleased we've got to 5 shows in anyway. Thank you for watching or listening. Some people are because they told me they were, and they're quite enjoying it. So let's keep doing it. That's what I say.
Sounds good to me.
Frankly, yeah. Lovely, lovely weak coffee. What do you want to crack on? Do you want to vent immediately about stuff? Do you want
to? Yeah. I mean, we can do whatever we want. Really, we don't have to roll with the show notes
around here. No.
Shall we talk about what's Hap and Nap for the week?
Yes.
Get started?
Yes. Let's talk about this is happening. What's happening?
So, I'll kick off.
Do it
because it kind of somewhat links into the trouble I've had with my daughter and her age. But I have been for the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks, toiling away at trying to make my backyard. I can't really call it a garden because there isn't much greenery in sight. But I've been toiling away trying to make it nice so that I can potentially go and sit outside with my laptop while daughter plays happily. You know, it's safe. She's not going to run into any rusty nails sticking out the wall and all that kind of stuff.
Were there many rusty nails kicking around the place in your yard?
I mean, you have seen the backyard in its former state, and there was that horrendous mini shed thing in the back of my garden.
Yes.
But yeah, smashed it, mate. Smashed the garden.
Wait, so you succeeded in doing it? You succeeded in completing the tasks when you say you smashed it?
No, I literally smashed the shed.
Oh, you destroyed. Oh, the shed, right? Yeah. So sorry, I thought you were like talking allegorically. Right. Okay. Yeah. And it's now in bits. Great. So even more spiky shit for her to stab herself on or get a splinter.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you've destroyed it. I love it.
I destroyed it.
Smashed it.
Most of it was taken away, but part of it has been converted into a nice little planter area. So that now she's got somewhere from which to launch dirt across the garden, obviously. That's the goal we were going for.
Is this already happening that you put the dirt in it and she's already thrown it everywhere, or you haven't got to that
That's
bit?
right.
You just...
No, that's where we are. At her behest, we have put some carrot seeds into her planter. She wanted to grow carrots. But obviously she's 2. She doesn't understand. No, you put the seeds there and then you leave them. You don't keep digging the soil. You just keep digging away. Eventually,
these kids though, they're playing Farmville. They're playing Stardew Valley, and their attention span is a lot less than the real world's agricultural situation. So like they believe that you plant something and that 10 minutes later it's grown. You let them play these games, Jeremy. Then they'll think that the real world is quick and fast and easy, and a Big Mac pops out of it. You've only got yourself to blame. Frankly.
Yeah, that's fair enough, really. But you better bet that these plants are fully watered at any given moment of the waking day.
Well, she's just like, time to water, and you're like, well,
we've got our own little watering can. It's pretty cute. It's a super cute little thing. But it's more water, please, Daddy. I'm like, okay, right, I'm going to regret this. Here we go, water. But not content with the spout that obviously disperses the water evenly. No, she just walks over there and just tips the watering can straight onto the soil. Like,
destroying it.
I don't need this. This spout is just such a middleman. I don't need it. Like,
it's holding me back. This spout's been holding me back my entire farming career. Fuck you, spout.
You guys are idiots. You're doing this wrong. This is much, much more efficient.
Life hacks with Hannah. It's like, hey, do you know the spout is actually not meant to be used? You turn it upside down, it comes back out where you put the water in. The more you know. The more you know.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle. Fuck the spout. Just tip it out.
Here's my handle. Fuck the spout. I mean, that's a nursery rhyme I'd like to see Duncan do. Here's my handle, fuck the spout. I mean, who uses a teapot anyway? That's another middleman that's been cut out. Most people just put the thing into the cup. I'm glad I've got a visual representation. And then the water goes on the top. And like, my teapot is smashed to pieces on the floor. I didn't even own one. I just went to Sainsbury's to buy one and smashed it in the aisle.
Sorry, I just have to stop you there. Is that a vote for Nathan Petrelli mug?
Yeah.
Man, that's a throwback.
Nathan Petrelli for Congress.
You evil, evil man. I'm going to have to go and watch Heroes now.
Heroes season 1 was such a wonderful show.
It was amazing.
I was so obsessed with it, as were we all. I mean, I speak for the entire world there, but I don't know. And then I went to America, and they were selling these in the NBC gift shop, and I think it's NBC, the one with the kind of peacocky look.
With the peacock, yeah.
And they were selling that, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm such a massive fan. I won't be able to get this anywhere. Back in the days where you couldn't buy things anywhere, yeah, I love this. Also, the thing I love about my Nathan Petrelli, I wonder if did he ever get to Congress? I hope that guy made it. I never do remember what happened in season 2 because it got shipped to the writer's strike.
Remember. No, yeah.
But I suspect he probably didn't because his brother Peter Petrelli was fucking around everywhere, stealing each other's powers. But it's a good big mug. Look, you can get a lot of coffee in that. That's a good size.
Well, there we go. What started as DIY in the garden being Hap has turned into that Heroes being Hap
mugs.
And your mug being Hap. So
do you know? I tell you something.
We're on a roll.
We're on a roll. It's time to go solo. I was in Sainsbury's yesterday. This is slightly what's Nap because people are still winding me up, Jeremy. I have to say it very quickly because I know we've said it before, but I keep getting trapped in Sainsbury's by people. I walk in and the person's kind of like durdling and walking back towards me. I turn around to leave and the person's coming in, and now I've got people from either side and I can't go, and I'm looking at them like that, the universal sign for like, what the fuck do you want me to do? And they look at me like, well, what? Just walk past me, close to me. What's wrong with you? And I'm like, what's wrong with me? We're all doing a thing. Or have you not been keeping up on current events? And
yeah.
I'd run
and
out
the
of
answer is no. No, they have not.
I'd run out.
They've
of
seen
Chambers
Boris
coffee,
talking at some
and
point, and they've taken
talk.
that as, yeah, so lockdown's over, right? You know, you
All
said
bets
garden
all bets are off.
something. Dominic Cummings not going to speak about it again. That means I can do what I want. So yeah, Alex, I'm coming for you in the supermarket.
I think you're right. Actually, I think they have thought. Gardens from Monday. He said from Monday, 6 people could meet in one place as long as you still meet the social distancing rules, which I think everyone took as lockdown is over. Like that is what I think everyone has heard. It's like, lockdown's over. Only 6 people, 6 billion people. Well, if you have that many friends. I reckon there's a lot of people.
Let's be clear here. How many people actually have room in their gardens to accommodate 6 people, all 6 feet,
spaced.
2 meters apart?
Yeah, I know. It's bonkers. And I do think that because he announced it would happen on June the 1st, i.e. tomorrow, I think a lot of people went, well, tomorrow's basically today. So, I mean, it's a bit like when you haven't been paid yet, and you're like, well, I mean, it's going to come out, and then the money's going to go in. So basically, I've already been paid. So it's like, I can always get away with it. So I reckon there's a lot of people this weekend who continued. Oh, I was driving around to go and get my gas and my electricity the other day, because I'm still on this card meter until I can get that sorted. And everyone was just walking around together. Like everyone, most of the young people were just like walking around in big groups of people. I'm like, I'm so confused. But I got trapped in the aisle. I meant to this what I'm trying to say. Trying to get coffee beans. And there was all this wall of coffee. And what I was saying just before we started was that I don't have time to make decisions anymore because somebody is coming into the aisle behind me and they're waiting for me to make a decision. So every supermarket decision is pressured, Jeremy. So like, I go in there, I'm like, a wall of coffee. That's ground. That's cafetiere. That's, where's the beans? Oh, that's instant. Where's the beans? And then I look to my left and there's someone just like, I'm like, and I said, literally, I was like, I'm looking for the beans. Like, I can't see the beans. And instead of them saying, they're down there, they just went, like,
guess you're not having beans then. Walk on.
Get the fuck on with it. And I looked, and I saw one, any beans. And I went, that's the one I wanted. It wasn't the one. I just like, I've got to get out of this aisle and under this icy stare of this woman. Like, thank God, the beans I wanted.
Here you go.
50 quid fair trade. Beans, I've got the beans. And I pushed my trolley away. That's Nap, but it's also quite Hap. It's quite funny. But yeah, I mean, DIY garden stuff, that does sound fun.
Yeah. But I've got one other thing that's Hap.
What's that?
And because I really need to have a nerdy segment of this show, apparently. I can't not be a massive nerd. And so what's Hap this week is that on Tuesday night, American time, overnight, there was a Star Trek Voyager reunion. They got all the cast together.
Who even knew this was a thing?
And actually, I will link the replay of it in the description for anybody that wants to see it. And while I know you are not... Yeah, go on.
My phone is about to die. I had like loads of battery, but I don't. You're going to have to keep talking about it. Just hold the fort for just one moment. I've got to go and get my charger. I'll be back in just a moment. This is so
sure
professional.
thing.
I love it. So keep talking.
Yeah, so I'll tell Alex about this thing even though he's not here and he can find out on the replay. But there is a company that are bringing together all kinds of celebrities, mostly entire casts of shows. So I mentioned Star Trek Voyager. He's durdling around in the background. And they also brought together the cast of Frasier. They brought together the current cast of The Flash. And the idea is that they have a lovely little chat, lovely little live stream, and they're raising money for actors who are obviously out of work at the moment and cannot earn a living. especially in the States where they have to pay premiums and insurances and things like that. While they're not earning, they need money, and so they do it on a donation basis.
I'd love to know what you were talking about. Sorry about that.
I've turned this into like a what's the thing that PBS do, like a telemarketing.
Oh, like a telethon.
Yeah, telethon. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. No, what I was mentioning is Star Trek Voyager aside, because I know that you're not the biggest fan of that incarnation of Star Trek, because you're I'm not
a huge fan, but they put you're saying they put a reunion. They got everyone together.
Yeah, I mean it is the 25th anniversary of the first broadcast of it, so it's been a while.
25 years. Let it die.
But the group that have done it, that have put together this, they brought together other groups of people as well. And actually, the two guys that run it are very theatre based, and they've been doing a broadcast twice a day, one at 2 p.m. and one at 8 p.m. American time. And they have got a long list of people, mostly from the world of theatre and musicals. So you may want to check out generally what they're doing, raising money for out of work actors, which is currently all actors thanks to the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's very positive.
So Voyager aside, there's a lot of Hap there.
That is a lot of Hap. I never knew that Voyager would have such an impact beyond its remit of being slightly rubbish. But that's so terrible. I know you like it. I know you.
It's rude.
It's so rude. Do you know what? I was talking to Owen, who's a friend of ours, and he hates Westworld. He can't stand Westworld. And my brother said last night, "I'm going to go and watch end of Westworld season 3." And he said something like, "Oh, don't know why you bother. It's shit," or something like that. And every time we mention Westworld, he just like rags on it. Just says, "Yeah, it's shit though. Why would you bother?" And it always winds me up. So I know he's doing it to wind me up, by the way. But I probably shouldn't do it to you and Voyager because I hate it. But it is. It's still Hap. I'll tell you something. That's Hap. Have I got anything?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've tried to watch some more TV shows because I'm stuck in and I got to watch something. And things that are Hap at the moment are all remain. What I've discovered, Jeremy, is the things that were Hap on episode 1 are the same things that Hap on episode 5, i.e., live streaming, video games, Dungeons and Dragons, and TV. That's my life now. Do you know, I even thought about buying. I thought about getting a cat. That's what it came down to. I was like, maybe I could get a cat. Something like that. But I think...
Are you saying the coronavirus has just turned you into a spinster? Is that what's going on?
Just get a cat and play World of Warcraft, and the cat will run across my keyboard and cast spells and shit. But I tell you what, do you know what? I watched this week, I started to watch Grey's Anatomy. Do you ever watch Grey's Anatomy?
Unfortunately, I have seen a bit of Grey's Anatomy via
I like how
my wife.
Were you not a fan of it?
I wasn't, and I am still not a fan of it.
You weren't. This just in, Jeremy, not a fan of Grey's Anatomy. My boss is a huge fan, and I'm like, is
your boss female?
On? Yes.
Yeah, that explains it. Yeah.
I kept thinking, when I think of Grey's Anatomy, I think of ER, another kind of sexy doctor medical drama, which I presumed has stopped running. But so when they said Grey's Anatomy, I'm like, yeah, right, they got what are you watching on reruns? And they're like, the 16th season has just been released. I'm like, 16 seasons? What? Is the main sexy doctor still sexy? I've no idea. I have to watch 16 seasons to find out. I don't even know what the point of Grey's Anatomy is. I hate medical dramas. I couldn't stand House. I just can't watch that shit. And this week, it was like, some guy fell down the stairs and shot himself in the head with a nail gun 16 times. And I'm like, I don't think I want to watch this. And then the kind of like, the sexy doctor's like, why don't you go out with me? She's like, I don't want to go out with you. And like, that's basically Grey's Anatomy. And I don't know why I keep watching. I've watched 4 episodes of it. I don't know why I keep watching it. Mainly because I think because they all start out as interns, I want to see them come good. That's the only thing. I want to see them come good. You know,
you're waiting for it to turn into Scrubs, basically, aren't you? That's what's happening.
Oh man, Scrubs was something I enjoyed, obviously, and
Scrubs was nice.
I can't even tell you if it's Hap or Nap. I think it probably... Do you know what? I have to go out on a limb. I think that Grey's Anatomy is probably Grey's a Nap and me.
Boom.
Because I think it's probably shit. But I'll watch it anyway. But the one thing that is good is that like Katherine Heigl wanders around in her pants quite a lot. So I'm like, hey, listen. The producers of this show went, hey, look, we're going to put a sexy doctor in this and you're going to fucking love him. And then the people making the show just went... we need a sexy girl in there for the guys to like. And they're like, okay, we'll stick Katherine Heigl in there and she can run around in her pants. And it's like, okay, tick, signed, 16 seasons. Hey,
she's not there for 16 seasons, I assure you.
No, but the internet is, so it's fine. And then I watched another TV show, right, which I don't know if you've seen. It's on Netflix called, I don't even know what it's called. I've only watched one episode. I think it's called Space Force. It's got Steve Carell. Have you heard about this?
I've not heard of this, no.
Oh, brilliant. I watched it for you, Jeremy. I watched it because I thought you might get a kick out of the fact that I watched it. So they've released a Netflix original with Steve Carell as the main guy, who the president says, you know, we want to go back to the moon. We want boots on the moon by 2024. And Steve Carell has just been appointed as like the 4-star general. He's like the highest general there can be. He's just been appointed it. And he's made the director of Space Force. So he has to take them into space and direct this space program. And Lisa Kudrow, who is Phoebe in Friends, is his wife.
Yep.
And they just... And John Malkovich is his chief scientific advisor. It's got some good guys in it.
It's quite a good cast then.
Yeah. It is a good cast. And when you watch the trailer, it's quite funny. It's meant to be funny. It's like, you know, by the people who made The Office, Steve Carell's in it. It's about space. And that's it. That's all you need to know. But, like, it's weird because he's managed to become a 4-star general. So you'll think, well, he's obviously not bungling. I mean, I know that idiocy does not prevent you rising to the highest rank in the world, right? So I know that. But
Peter Principle.
in this, you get the impression from the word go, from this show, that he is competent. Like right from the beginning, you get the impression that he's competent. But then as you get into it, you see that kind of office-like incompetence spread into it. So it's hard to know what we're meant to be liking or rooting for him, or not. I don't get it really. But at the same time, it's quite funny. So I would say if you should give it a go just to see whether you like. I'm going to watch a couple more episodes and that's it. But
so you're not ready to say whether it's Hap or Nap yet then?
No, I think it probably... Do you know what? I have this feeling that if something isn't amazing, it's shit. That's probably unfair, right? But if something, you've got the great stuff, and then you've got this other stuff. And I don't think there's really any in between. Otherwise, what's the point? Do you know what I found interesting? Is that they were saying there's one released on Amazon called Homecoming. I think it's got Julia Roberts in it. It says, from the makers of Mr. Robot. And I'm like, oh, well, I like Mr. Robot, so I got to watch this, right? That's how that works. And then I thought back to Mr. Robot, and I'm like, that did not leave a lasting impression because I haven't thought about it once since watching it. So there you go. So that's the things that have been Hap, Grey's Anatomy, and Space Force. But watching TV was fun.
It's better than cleaning.
That's terrible, isn't it? It's like, what? Sitting down is Hap.
Something was on the screen. Who knows what it was?
There you go. I thought I'd let you know. That's catching you up. Things you might want to watch. But
okay.
I don't know.
Well, the only other thing I've got to say in this segment is this week I've really struggled to come up with something that's been Nap. Because I've been looking at what's been going on in the world and getting outraged and frankly sick to my stomach with this whole George Floyd murder. Oh yeah.
The world's a fucking twisted place, man. It's doing my head in.
Things that are happening. So I felt like kind of bitching about anything in kind of my universe would be massively entitled and totally first world problemy. So I can't really bring myself to do it. I mean, this is what comes up with the segment Don't Get Me Started. We are taking the piss a little bit and making light of the terrible... not really terrible stuff, but you're right. We should probably take some time off from doing naps unless they're really terrible. Like the fact that I just made my coffee and there wasn't enough coffee beans to grind. So my coffee is now half as strong as it should be, which is pretty nap. But once again, first world problems.
But yeah, fair enough. Let's stick with the Hap. Let's stick with the happy haps. Love it.
Cool.
Hey, do you know what? I'm gonna keep it light. I'm gonna watch the entire season of Grey's Anatomy. How many episodes? I don't know. 24 back then. They probably did 24.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't think I can do 24 episodes of that shit.
You enjoy that.
Oh, I don't know
so,
if I can do
being
it.
that we haven't got any naps, and we
Yes.
will probably still need to go on a little bit of a rant in this episode, or it won't be Co-Video Kill the Radio Star. Shall we neatly segue into Don't Get Me Started?
Let's do it. I have one for you. I didn't write two.
Okay.
But,
I'll kick you off then. No, I'll kick you off just in case you're not quite ready for me yet. I would like to know, Alex, on this fine Sunday evening, how you feel about spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets? Oh my god. Don't get me started on spreadsheets. I mean, the main spreadsheet that you want to use is Excel. What is amazing about Excel is it sets a standard that everyone should use. So brilliantly, loads of other people have made fake versions of it. Like I think that the Mac version has one that's just called Numbers. And I'm like, hey, we want to make some spreadsheets app. But sir, there already is one out there. Shut the fuck up and get me a new one that's exactly the same. And it doesn't really matter because Excel, despite the fact it's absolutely brilliant, every time it changes versions, changes something fucking irritating about the ribbon, about how many rows you can get, about what you can do with it. And there's nothing worse than that, is it not doing what the fuck you wanted to do. VLOOKUPs, the VLOOKUP is one of the simplest fucking formulas you want to do in a spreadsheet. Will it fucking work? No. Probably because the type is not the same. I've set it to general. I've set that to general. Still it doesn't work. The hours spent trying to troubleshoot Excel makes Excel absolutely hopeless. And the worst thing, something worse than spreadsheets themselves, are people that use spreadsheets that don't know how to use spreadsheets, but say that they can, right? So on everybody's CV ever, they say proficient with Microsoft Word, which is fine because everyone can type, right? At some speed. They'll get there in the end. And then they say proficient with Excel. And I'm like, are you? No, you're not, right? That's the worst thing about spreadsheets. It gives everyone this full sense of security that they know what to do. And they went, well, I went on a course. I'm like, can you do a sum if? And they're like,
I'm proficient with Excel. I can put numbers into the cells.
You can put a number into the cell. I love it. It's like, can you do a count if, count a, sum if, nested if, index match? No, you can't do any of these things. So like, I love how Excel itself, as the daddy of all spreadsheets, lures people into thinking they can do it. They go on a course. It all makes sense on the day. Then 6 months later, they're as shit as they ever were. Fucking spreadsheets, man. Scrap it all. Just get a career in the arts. Not right now, though.
I feel like I failed because I think that was some genuine spreadsheet rage there, which is not the point of this segment.
No, is it? I don't know. I can't remember what the point of it is anymore. Somebody at work, when I was at... What's that? Pissed off as you.
Carl Lonsdale is joining us in Not Getting Started. He would like to not be started on the PS4, not letting him sign in to YouTube.
He's literally not started.
But hey, he's literally not started. But hey, Carl, you're here. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks very much
for joining us.
He's even got a PS4. I haven't got a PS4. Okay, now I've still got the PS3. What I will say is somebody at work used to have a mug that said... I can't remember. It's like, I hate spreadsheets. It just said, I hate, or something. It had a line through spreadsheets. Said, I hate spreadsheets, or something like that. And I had one that just said, I love spreadsheets. So every time we met in the kitchen, fuck Excel. From the words of Matt Ward, fuck Excel. He's talking about Johnny Excel, the former head of our fantasy football league. And I don't like that guy either. Any of the versions of Johnny Excel. 2007 Johnny Excel, 2016 Johnny Excel. It's very specific if you don't know who Johnny Excel.
This is a very, very specific bit of rage here, Alex. I think you've lost most people.
Fucking Johnny. Johnny, no, yeah. So I'd go into the kitchen and I'd see a mug that say, and she'd be like, I fucking hate spreadsheets because the truth is I fucking love Excel. And when people are like, I just can't use it, makes me think, you haven't even tried. Anyway, fuck Excel. Johnny or otherwise. I hope he's listening. Love you, Johnny. So you can interpret this one however you want.
Okay.
But I want to hear your opinion on Queen.
On Queen? Okay. Don't get me started on the Queen. Because what an utter waste of space. Not only she is, but her entire clan of inbred hick motherfucking morons masquerading as royalty. So these people haven't been useful for God knows how long, generations. They probably should have been scrapped when I can't even remember which one it was. Edward, was it? Had to abdicate because he was too busy
the one that
fucking
abdicated,
people from around the world.
Edward the 7th?
Like, I watched The Crown and I've forgotten. But The Crown is Hap anyway.
Yeah, it is.
But in general, the Queen and everything involving her is Nap, and it's because just at the moment that she could have been useful and stepped in on any number of bullshit things that have happened in this country in the last 5 years. She's like, no, one will not intervene in political matters. So why are you here? What's your purpose exactly? One will not intervene in the running of the country. I'm like, can we pull out your job description and have a performance review here? What exactly does it say your role involves? Just waving?
Hey, right, she does seriously. It well.
Don't get me started on Charles and his jug mug head. Don't get me started on Prince Philip and his racist tendencies. And don't get me started on frickin' Meghan Markle and how she tried to be royalty and just got kicked around by the media. Yeah. Don't get me started on the Queen.
On the Queen. Nice. I wondered which way you go on that.
I bet she listens to Queen as well.
Does that make things better or worse?
Here's one for you, Alex.
Just tuned in. Please recap in great detail. That's like the best comment I have ever heard. It's just tuned in. Please tell me everything that's happened in the last 33 minutes in great detail. Not a précis. Not an overview. Could you please repeat word for word?
I'm late. Start over.
I'm late. What happened? What happened? Well, the world began. Gaseous forms. Big bang. We evolved. You're not that far back. Just tuned in.
Right. I'm going to get you started on a related topic to the last one. Yeah, it's a related topic.
Okay.
And you cannot interpret this in any way you like.
Okay.
What is your opinion on Data from Star Trek?
Oh my God. Don't get me started on Data from Star Trek. The method by which they put all their information into their systems. No, I'm only kidding. Don't get me started on Data from Star Trek, who is the ultimate Deus Ex Machina story writing, conceit, as it were. Whenever something's fucked up, that's the problem. The problem from the start is they created what they thought was going to be a lovable, interesting robot character that was designed to be a bit like Spock, but wasn't I don't think Carl understands this segment. Wait, hold on. Listen, Carl. You think you love him, but I'll tell you why you shouldn't, right? He's an absolute waste of space. They made him to be a bit like Spock. They needed someone like Spock. They said, but Spock's a bit like a robot. What could we have? And someone went, a robot? And they were like, give that man $100,000. And then they put him in there, and then they went, oh shit, Data's perfect. As a result, Data can solve anything we ever do. So every story in Star Trek was solved by Data. So they either had to kind of like have it solved by Data or break Data in some way to make sure it wasn't solved. He is to say, the ultimate Deus Ex Machina. He's too perfect. You would say he's a Mary Sue because he's absolutely perfect, absolutely everything. And eventually, the only way to make him worse was to give him the emotion chip to allow A, Brent Spiner to be more cool, and B, them to have some reasons. Please recap that. This guy, who is this guy? This guy's so funny. I love it. Please recap every data moment in great detail for full context. It's got such a good point. Let me tell you about an episode of Data. It's the episode called The Game in Star Trek Next Generation, where they find these little glasses they put on their face and allows them to play a little kind of like puzzle game where they have to put a thing into a vortex into a hole, right? And they can replicate any number of these things. So everyone gets the glasses. It's called The Game, and it's the one where once again the other person is a bit like Data, who we dislike, which is What's the fucking Crusher? Wesley Crusher is the other person. There's only 2 people solving things in Next Generation. It's Data and it's Wesley. And that's the entire crew, right? So they realise at the start of that episode that we've got problems because the idea is that these glasses are actually meant to kind of like,
tweak with your brain.
Yeah, fuck with your brain. It takes you out of action. And eventually, everyone on the Starship Enterprise is wearing these glasses, and they're all getting fucked up. So what happens is, Data to the rescue, except they know they can't use Data, so they have him smashed to pieces partway through the episode. And so now they can't use him. So it's like, we made this perfect guy, but we have to keep breaking him, which isn't the reason to make a character like that. Painted yourself into a corner. Who saves the day? Fucking Wesley and Robin Leffler. Robin fucking Leffler. We never see her again. And at the end, who saves the whole thing? They go and fix Data in that episode. And at the end, just when they're about to force Will Wheaton, force Crusher and Leffler to have the glasses on, who comes in stage left? The fucking Data. Unbelievable. In the end, right, he's even in the latest episodes of what we watch in Picard, he's even like in that. The other thing about you can't get me started on fucking Data is that they use him like the Borg. There's only 2 things Next Gen has. It's the Borg and Data. And even when they put in Picard, they were like, oh, Picard's pretty cool. Is there anything else we need? Well, we need the Borg and we need Data. Check. And somebody in the back of them just went, oh, do you think we should think... Don't get me started on Wesley Crusher. Oh, I could be here all day. You got to stop. Crusher. Poor Wesley Crusher. No, you're right, he can. Someone said, oh, this is a new show for a new generation, and perhaps we ought to not hark back to the bad old days of Best of Both Worlds Part 1 and 2, Locutus, First Contact, the Borg, Q-Who, everything about that, and Data's pervading influence over the entire show. Perhaps we should come up with something new and fresh. And they fired that man and made Picard. So, don't get me started. I'm sorry that went on, but you guys commented, and I can go all day. And Eddie... Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton! I like Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton seems like a decent guy. I could be not getting started on him, but like I won't. Anyway, so I hope that was an extended Don't Get Me Started. If it's not
I dug that one. Yeah.
If it's not clear, Carl, this is a segment called Don't Get Me Started where we have to badmouth. I mean, it might be my opinion. You don't know that. But like, I have to badmouth the person that he mentions. So that's like the entire point of it.
And unfortunately, Alex set a precedent in the first episode in which he made me not get started on my Lord and Saviour, the mince pie.
Oh, yeah! The mince pie, man.
That's how this started. So every episode since, I have been systematically trying to find things that I perceive Alex to love and make him have to shit talk them.
Yeah, actually,
that's how I roll.
Record, yeah, I love it. I think that was a good one. That was a really good one. Because the thing is, I think Data's... Oh, man. I don't think I even cared about Data when the show was on. I just honestly don't think I did. He's a nice, fun character, but... I don't know, man. He's no Q. If you'd have said John Delancey... I can't
stand Q. I cannot stand Q.
Oh, shut your mouth! Oh, my God.
When I was rewatching TNG before... watching Picard, I skipped through most of the Q episodes because I can't stand him. I've literally just finished rewatching Voyager. I only watched one of the Q episodes. I skipped the rest. I just don't.
The Q episodes are the best episodes.
Talk about a plot device that's just there for total convenience and should just be an asshole. Here's a problem that we absolutely cannot solve because he's omnipotent, but yet somehow, amazingly, we're going to solve it and nothing is going to be resolved and it's a total filler bullshit event. Like, no, fuck you. Fuck
that
you
is
so
true.
hard.
Talk about the ultimate Deus Ex Machina, with the key word there being Deus, given his status, but John Delancey, they are some of the funniest episodes. Please get... The history of this guy's a fan because we didn't say Q Continuum. I love you, man. I had the Q Continuum box set, which was all of the episodes: Encounter at Farpoint, Q-Who, Deja Q, Hide and Q. It had Tapestry. It had I don't think it had the last one. Tapestry Q. That's the only one they don't say Q in. Q-Who. What was I going to say? Cupid, the one where Vash and it's the one where they all turn into merry men from Robin Hood. Vash and Picard. That's an excellent episode. That's a wonderful episode. The thing is, those are so funny. Don't shake your head at me. They are so funny, the Q episodes. Deja Q is brilliant. What an episode. Oh, no, Deja Q. Oh, they're all fucking amazing.
Carl says, didn't he try to convince Riker to join him? Don't know, Carl. Didn't watch them. Sorry.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I think he does it in Deja Q. Actually, he does want him. But yeah, I think he says he'll give him all the powers. I think there's an episode where he gives him the powers and he's just like, oh, I don't know why do you want these things? Who you need on this is someone like Duncan. This has become Star Trek chat. Where did that happen?
I'm not necessarily mad at it, but we should probably get this show back on track.
No. I'll tell you what. John Delancey, right, is in an episode of The West Wing. He's wonderful in that. He's in an episode of Ally McBeal I saw the other day. I'm like, John Delancey. If I had an opportunity to meet John Delancey, I would be so happy. So happy. Only by then, what happened is you'd have made me do a Don't Get Me Started on John Delancey. I'd have said how much I hated him. You'd have cut this clip. And at the moment I meet John Delancey, you'd show him the clip of me badmouth him for about a minute. I love
John Delancey.
John Delancey. He's wonderful. Shut up. Right. That was what we called Don't Get Me Started. And we got started. Thanks, by the way, for all the comments flying in. Yeah, well, I did 2 and I hadn't got one for you. And I think, in fairness, that's probably the end of this segment anyway. But I'll try and do 2 for you next week.
Sure.
But you do the best ones, man. You do good
I'm
ones.
a ranty motherfucker. What can I say?
I love it. Yeah, me too. This is very ranty podcast. If you like ranty podcasts, this one's here for you. Right, what's up next? What are we talking about? What's the buzz?
Let's move on to our brand new segment that we haven't done on this podcast before, called Read My Lips.
Okay.
So how this works is that with 30 seconds on the clock, and I will rather slickly need to side hand turn on my timer because I forgot to do it before we started.
On my phone, yeah.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
So that with 30 seconds on the clock, we'll start off with you first, I think. I'm going to give you a category.
Yes.
And then, Alex, you will need to take off your headphones and set them down on the desk so that you can't hear me, but we will all still be able to hear you.
Okay.
And from that category, I will, one at a time, give you something related to that category. But you won't be able to hear me, so you're going to have to read my lips and guess what it is.
Okay, so the category might be whatever, and I have to read your lips and see if I can see what you're saying.
So, for example, if the category was vegetables, you wouldn't be able to hear me now, and I would say aubergine. And you would have to try
I'm never going to do it, because I couldn't even tell. I was looking at your lips. Oh, this is never going to work. Okay. Right.
Okay,
you're going to give me the category.
Quickly bring up a 30-second timer.
I talk into this bit, so I'm going to try and keep this close to so you can still hear me. I can't see. Oh my god! Let me just see if I can move this further. Right. Because I need to look at your lips a bit better. Because I have to get the mic here so I can still speak into this. Right.
Are you ready?
Not quite. Hold on. Your one's going to be easy because right. I'm ready. Tell me the category.
Your category is James Bond films.
Oh man, I was going to pick this one for you. Okay, and I take my headphones off. Yeah. How will you know when 30 seconds is up? Is you going to wave at me madly?
So when you get one right, I'll put my thumb up.
Yeah.
And when it's over, I'll just go over or something.
Yeah.
like
Okay.
that.
Cool. Yeah. Fine.
Okay. You can pass if you feel like one isn't working. Then pass because I'm just going to keep saying the same one until you either get it right or pass.
Oh God, there's 27 Bond movies. It can't be that hard. Right. Okay. I'll take this off.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I don't know.
Okay. For our listeners, 30 seconds on the clock. Starting.
Can you still hear me?
Now. The Spy Who Loved Me.
Okay, that's The Spy Who Loved Me. I can see that bit.
Dr. No.
Do that one. I did.
Dr. No.
Dr. No. Oh, I can do this game.
Live and Let Die.
Live and let die. Is it? I can.
Skyfall.
Did you see? Is that how much I got in that time? Hold on. Is that how many I got in 30 seconds? I did okay on that. That was a lot better.
So if I can count, and there's no guarantee that I can, you got 4.
That sounds about right. That's the score to beat. Okay.
That's pretty good. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to.
I'm not
to
on my
beat
stupid
this,
things.
But... Okay. Yeah, the idea is that it's not that I get them for you. It's you're supposed to be trying to win here, so...
I know that. I realise that.
Right, then. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's okay with that.
Right, lay it on me, man.
Okay. I'm going to say... I've got to keep talking into this. I've got to keep all together. Okay. NFL teams.
Oh, okay.
And I've got them all here. I'm going to try and jump around them a little bit because they're all in alphabetical order. Okay. So
get your timer ready.
Do I need to give you big enunciation? You didn't, but like, okay, get my time ready. Okay, ready. Okay. Okay, ready? Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns.
Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota Vikings.
This game is easier than we thought it was. Yes. Okay. New Orleans Saints.
New Orleans Saints?
Yeah. Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens.
Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers. Boom.
Los Angeles Chargers.
Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, my thing didn't start. I think that's got to be the end of it. I pressed play on the thing, but it didn't seem to work. But you'd already eclipsed my score anyway. I think we can read each other's lips quite well. I was expecting this would be harder than it was.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll increase the difficulty of the category.
How can we make it more difficult?
I do have another one for you if you'd like to have another go.
Yeah, okay, I'll give it another go. Oh, I'll move this back. Okay.
Your category this time... Yeah, that would help, wouldn't it? Your category this time is American TV shows.
Okay, that might be a little bit harder. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me just turn you down a little bit. Okay, I'm ready. I'm not going to get any of these now because I have nothing to work with. Bond films, at least I knew Bond films.
Westworld.
I know, that looked like you said The Wizard.
Westworld.
Whizbit? That's a UK show.
Westworld.
What Waspies?
Westworld.
Wayne's World.
Westworld.
Westworld! It's Westworld! That's what it is! This game's amazing now.
The West Wing.
The West Wing. You're picking all the W's. I know that's a good one. You're picking all my
Babylon 5.
Babylon 5! I saw that one. You can't not... Oh, shows I like.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, I don't know what... That looked like you said the Princess... Oh, no. Yeah, actually...
I wasn't paying a huge amount of attention then. I think I gave you some extra time. But that's okay, because this was fun anyway.
That was a lot more fun, because I had no... Okay, right. Knowing what the area of influence is going to help us. Okay, so that was a game we like to call... Oh, did you want to do another one? Do you want me to do one? I got one, yeah.
Let's do it.
I got one for you, right. I hope everyone enjoys this. Feedback. Eddie Stone will be... Tell us everything about...
every category of everything ever.
Okay, no particular order. This is famous monuments. World famous in the world.
This is where the wheels come off.
I don't know about that. Right, so... let's get you ready to go. Okay. Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty.
Okay. Big Ben.
Big Ben.
Colosseum.
Colosseum?
Colosseum! The Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Leaning Tower of Pisa.
The Eiffel Tower. Oh, no, you're out.
Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, you got that. that was a game we liked called Read My Lips, which got harder when I think you were much better at that than I was. But
did I get that last one in on the buzzer? Is that a
at
3-pointer from the line?
Yeah, from downtown.
Not to disappoint us, Eddie Stone has popped up again. I tried to play along at home, but I closed my eyes instead of my ears. Can you start the game again from the start? This isn't something we discussed, but maybe we should have an MVP of the comment section, and today it will definitely be Eddie Stone.
Oh, Eddie, yeah. Yeah, listener of the week. Viewer of the week. Yeah, nailing it, mate. Crushing it. Yeah, close your eyes. That was a mistake. Don't worry, you probably would have got more than me, just randomly blurting out Bond films. Well, that wasn't so bad, because The Spy Who Loved Me is a very specific set of syllables, I think. I'm going to bring myself back. Bring it all back to me now. So, that was a fun game. What have we got left to talk about?
That's it. That's our show.
That is it. It's 52 minutes. I mean, it's almost an hour. Let's wrap it up a little bit and get the hell out.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for everyone who listened, because there are a few people kicking about there.
Absolutely.
Please, Carl, come back and listen again. I don't hate data that much.
For the people that are in the room right now and have been listening and follow along, make sure you hit the subscribe button below and hit the bell so that you know when we are broadcasting. If you want to experience all this again, and why wouldn't you, then it remains on YouTube for all of time until somebody eventually takes down YouTube in some kind of DDoSing type
until
thing.
The world is over.
Or you can listen to this as a podcast, which you can search for on any good and some bad podcast app that you use to listen.
Makes sense to me. I think they'll really enjoy the Read My Lips segment on the podcast bit, where it's just like two people repeating the same thing. Eiffel Tower, Dr. No, Dr. No. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I will be interested to when I'm editing that, listen back and see if it actually works as a podcast thing. It definitely worked on YouTube, but whether it works on a podcast remains to be seen.
Cool. It's been ranty. It's been amazing. Next week we'll be back at the same time, I think, and it'll be just as ranty as
last comment from Eddie Stone. Yeah, but some of us didn't catch the beginning, so it's only been 20 minutes from me. Plus I had some buffering. Thanks in advance for continuing.
Well, it's fair. Give the public what they want. Let's start the podcast again from zero.
I tell you what, Eddie, what you can do is, as soon as I hit that end broadcast button and then annoyingly have to hit another end broadcast button obtusively, you can just go back and start the episode again, and all 53 minutes will be there for you.
And for anybody else, tell your friends.
And I tell you what, this time it'll even feature you. That's how good we are.
Yeah, you'll be in it. Cool.
Let's get out of here. I need to go get drunk.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, thanks very much, and see you next week.
Bye-bye.